This is part 2 of the Math 109 IV rate practice worksheet. And I want to go back to a problem that I had skipped in the first video. Oh, there it is, because I had missed it. Number 8, the patient will receive an IV therapy that runs 83 milliliters per hour for 1 day. What is the total volume to be infused? So we're given 83 milliliters per hour. So we start with that. And it says for 1 day. So I guess I would ask you, how many hours is 1 day? And that's what will go up here. 1 day is 24 hours. So if you have that and you cross out your hours and you take 83 times 24, that's how you get the 1,192 milliliters. Okay, now let's go back to this problem, another one where we have to recalculate. So you have an order that reads 2,000 milliliters, 5% dextrose water for 16 hours IV. The drop factor is 17 drops per milliliter. Then it goes on to provide a second bit of information which tells you that it came later when you have to check it. So let's start with A. What is the initial flow rate in drops per minute? Remember that flow rate is always volume over time in hours. But note that your answer has to be in drops per minute. So we'll start with our flow rate is equal to volume over time, which would be 2,000 milliliters over 16 hours, okay, times, we have a drop factor of 17 drops per milliliter. So 17 drops per 1 milliliter. That would mean our milliliters cross out and our units are now drops per hour, but we need drops per minute, so we're going to do a third dimensional analysis, which is going to take care of this hour here and change it to minutes. And you know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. So your hours cancel out, and look what units you're left with, drops per minute, and that's what we needed to get our answer right. So it's not unusual to have 3 steps to the dimensional analysis. Now you simply multiply across and then divide by 16 times 60, and you should get 35.416, which rounded to the nearest whole is 35 drops per minute. That's the flow rate. Now, what is the adjusted flow rate? Whenever you see adjusted flow rate, it means later when you go check it. So when the nurse assessed the situation, 400 milliliters had been infused in 4 hours. So 400 milliliters. So we started with 2,000 milliliters, and she's saying 400 milliliters were infused. So if you subtract them, you're going to get the 1,600 milliliters, which is your new volume. It also says that 4 hours went by. So we started with 16 hours minus the 4 hours equals 12 hours. So our new time is 12 hours. So our flow rate is going to be volume, 1,600 milliliters over 12 hours times your drop factor, which is 17 GTTS per 1 milliliter. Line up your milliliters. And then because we need our answer in GTTs per minute, back up here, we have hours. We have to multiply it by 1 hour over 60 minutes, because then our hours change and our unit is now drops per minute. And your answer, if you work that out, is 38 drops per minute. So hopefully that helps you finish up this practice sheet, and you get a better understanding of what it means to find flow rate and recalculated flow rate.